Good evening. I'd like to call to order the Town of Los Gatos Joint Town Council, Parking Authority, and Successor Agency meeting for October the 1st, 2012. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Thank you and good evening. Councilmember Stephen Leonardis.
Here.
Councilmember Diane McNutt.
Here.
Councilmember Joe Przinski.
Here.
Vice Mayor Barbara Spector.
Here.
Mayor and Chair Steve Rice.
Here. At each council meeting, we have a tradition of honoring our youth and asking a future leader to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Tonight, we have not one but four, and not future leaders, but current leaders to lead us in the pledge. These are our 2012 Youth Citizens of the Year. These awards are given to youth who have already made significant contributions to their community and are considered role models for other people. These youth were awarded Los Gatos and state commendations and even federal commendations at a September 29th ceremony at the Los Gatos Youth Park behind the high school. These youth will also participate in the holiday tree lighting on November 30th and will start the Children's Holiday Parade with a whistle blow on December 1st on Saturday. So, first of all, I'd like to ask them to come up one at a time. First is Molly Ball, a freshman at Los Gatos High School. She volunteers as a special needs aide at Congregation Beth David and regularly volunteers at Envision Family Shelter. And I'm just going to read you a couple of sentences about each one. Their resumes are far, far longer. Next is Thomas Culwell, an 8th grade student at Fisher Middle School. He maintains the youth park property as a member of Boy Scout Troop 501 and volunteers for the Shining Stars Respite Program at Los Gatos Calvary Church. Next is Christian Gramling, a junior at Los Gatos High School. He volunteers at the Bike Exchange, which donates bicycles to low-income people, and he serves hot meals to the homeless people through St. Luke's Kitchen. And our fourth youth citizen is Tara Rizvani, a senior at the Harker School. She has completed over 405 hours of community service with 170 hours volunteering at El Camino Hospital. Would you please stand and join them as they lead us in the pledge? Thomas?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's give him a big hand. All right. Thank you very much. This is for you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Molly.
Thank you.
And you still lined up as boys on one side and girls on the other. Let's give him one more round of applause. All right, next I'd like to invite Father Rick Rodoni up from St. Mary's Church, because we have a commendation. It's kind of a special time for St. Mary's Church this year, as it is for Los Gatos, as we celebrate our 125th anniversary Jubilee year. It happens to be St. Mary's 100th anniversary year. So I'd like to present this commendation on behalf of the council to St. Mary's, and it reads as follows. Whereas St. Mary's of the Immaculate Conception was established as a parish in Los Gatos in September 1912 with 442 members, and whereas over the past 100 years, St. Mary's has provided a place of worship, learning, gathering, and growing for many in the Catholic faith tradition, and is a sanctuary where families come to share the joyous and sorrowful events of life. And whereas since breaking ground on the school in 1954, St. Mary's has provided quality education to children from kindergarten through 8th grade in a safe and nurturing environment. And whereas St. Mary's and its parishioners give of themselves, volunteering their time, talents, and treasure not only in their community, but outside organizations such as Working Boys Center in Ecuador, Handicapables, Sacred Heart Community Services, St. Vincent de Paul, Catholic Charities, and future support for Our Lady of Refuge Parish. And whereas today St. Mary's is a parish of more than 2,000 families, which includes its longest living parishioner, Dolores Juarez Cairns, who just celebrated her 104th birthday. Now, therefore, the Town Council of the Town of Los Gatos does hereby, with special appreciation, render a commendation to St. Mary's Church in celebration of 100 years of service to the community. Congratulations, Father Rick.
Very kind. Just for the record, to thank the Town Council for this commendation after our 100 years, and looking forward to many more prosperous and participative years with one another in service and care of the people of Los Gatos, and a commendation to you in 125 years for your celebration, our celebration of 125 years as a town. Thank you very kindly.
Thank you very much. Okay, could we have the closed session report, please?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council. The Council, there's nothing to report. There was no closed session before the regularly scheduled meeting. However, the Council will be adjourning to the closed session as noted on the agenda tonight, and that closed session will be held in the Council chambers, not the Town Manager's office as noted.
Thank you, Madam Attorney. A reminder that if you would like to speak on any item on tonight's agenda or would like to speak under verbal communications, there's little buff-colored cards in the back of the row in front of you, and you can fill those out and turn them in to the clerk on my left, your right, and we will get to you either during the agenda item or during verbal communications. Council and manager matters. Anybody on the council have anything? I have one thing. I just want to remind everybody that we have board and commission recruitment going on right now. The deadline for serving on a board, and one of our youth citizens actually serves on the youth commission, Molly does. There are currently 10 vacancies on 10 different boards and commissions. There's information on the town website, or you can email the clerk at clerk@losgatosca.gov to get an application. The deadline is next Monday, October 8th at 5 p.m. So if you're interested in serving on a town board and commission, there's lots of room, and we would love to have you join us. Manager matters.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, just a few quick items. We had a very successful showing of the Lorax last Friday at Screen on the Green, and then Saturday was the Wine Walk, concluding the summer season, co-sponsored with the Chamber of Commerce. Over 606 participants enjoyed 32 participating wineries, 27 featured merchants, 10 food providers, 8 hydration stations, and 5 musical groups. And the Chamber has already scheduled next year's wine walks as well for both spring and fall. And then this coming Saturday is the town's annual community garage sale from 9 in the morning to 2 p.m. And throughout the town, you can see neighborhoods and residents selling and recycling items for the betterment of the community, and Montecito participates in this with us. That concludes staff report, and it's my honor to introduce Sergeant Carrie Harris, who will be providing tonight's Did You Know appropriately on October 1st for Emergency Preparedness Month. Sergeant Harris.
Did you check your mic, Sergeant? I don't think it's on.
Sting.
There.
Here's one.
I think I've got it now. Cycled through. This year is our 7th annual presentation of Los Gatos Prepared. We have teams of CERT members scheduled to staff displays on October 7th and 14th, farmers markets, and at 5 retail locations on October 14th. Additionally, we have provided numerous Los Gatos prepared presentations to civic groups throughout the year. The Emergency Preparedness Work Plan establishes a variety of goals. One goal is to increase the presence of organized CERT teams in neighborhoods. This year, teams were established in the Los Gatos Almaden and Vista Del Monte neighborhoods. I should like to point out that the team leaders of those two teams are here with us tonight. And the team in the Almond Grove has been enhanced with a new neighborhood incident command post. County Fire's Personal Emergency Preparedness Program is presented monthly around the West Valley, with 4 events taking place annually in Los Gatos. The plan reflects the importance of engaging in exercises to maintain the proficiency of staff and volunteers. This year, the town has participated in a countywide CERT exercise involving several hundred participants at San Jose State University. The goal of implementing wildfire and flood evacuation plans has been partially completed. The flood evacuation project is done, and the wildfire evacuation plan is progressing. Evacuation zones and routes have been established and mapped. We are now working with County Fire to vet those routes. Once confirmed, evacuation route signage will be installed, and public education about what the signs mean and other fire safety tips will commence. At the end of this month, town staff and volunteers will participate in a countywide disaster sheltering exercise with the Red Cross. To prepare for that non-traditional role, CERTs and town staff will be receiving training from the Red Cross in shelter operations, because we know that in a large regional disaster, regular Red Cross shelter personnel will be overwhelmed, and volunteers from outside the area will be at least several days in coming. There are many other important emergency preparedness initiatives underway to prepare our community. We're thankful and appreciative of the hard work of the many committed individuals who move these programs forward. It could not be done without them, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have about emergency preparedness.
Thank you, Sergeant Harris. Any questions? I see none. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next on our agenda is the consent agenda. Any council member wish to poll any item? See none. Any member of the public wish to poll a consent item? Seeing none, I'll look for a motion. Councilmember Brzezinski.
Move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Next on our agenda is verbal communications. This is time for anybody from the audience who wishes to speak on any item that is not on tonight's agenda can do so for up to 3 minutes. I don't have any cards, but if anybody wishes to, they can kind of give me a wave. I see none. So we will go ahead and we will close verbal communications. And that is the last item on tonight's agenda. So we are adjourned.